Hello everybody, my name is Gekrons at Gekrons Reloaded. How the hell are you doing? Welcome back to the channel, and if you're new, welcome. Glad to have you here. Now, I'm going to be doing something a little different in this video. I'm going to be doing a series of 3 videos doing tutorials, because I was asked a great question this morning. Lim Hyung 464, thank you very much. I hope I pronounced that name correctly. If I didn't, I apologize. No offense meant. Asked the colors of different ticks, what they mean. Well, I'm going to explain all that in this video because I don't feel like I gave you the best of answers, and I want to make sure I explain myself properly. So we're going to look at enemies, their weak points, and the best and most effective way to kill them, and what the different colors of the enemies means. So I'm going to time skip silently. I'm going to move to different enemies as we go and explain the breakdown of each one of them. So that way you guys understand, if you're confused, on how to be able to identify them, what kind of enemy they are, and how to efficiently take them out. So let's begin. Alright, so we're going to look at the first enemy, the Arachnid Warrior. So I'm not really going to go into full detail on this mission.
Be optimistic for survivors. Eye for an eye time.
Alright. We're going to identify the weak points. Now, the weapons I use are kind of a one-hit kill. So, here we go. Oh, and also, could you please show your support by hitting that like button, subscribing, turn your notifications on, and share this video to your friends. So, that being said, also drop comments if you have questions. Now, you'll notice that the Arachnid Warrior is one ugly little prick, right? He's a big dude. But, he's easy to kill. Now, they're black with red and yellow tapering, but if you notice the mouth there and the eyes, that's the weak point. One hit, one kill, no screwing around, and if you really want to get a good look at it, there's the eye right there, and that's another weak point. They're pretty basic to kill. Their strength is actually their numbers. So if you're good at taking out their numbers, then you can take out an Arachnid Warrior. Now, moving on to the variation, the mutant. Give me a minute, and we'll get one ready.
Oh, the black box isn't on site? They must have attempted evac.
Perhaps to the propagation tent. Psy Commander, scout it out.
Alright, so we're about to run into not only the standard flavor of Arachnid Warriors, but the upgraded version, or the mutant version. Now, they're bigger, they're meaner, and they're a hell of a lot
Mutants!
tougher.
Kill them! Kill them all!
But if you know how to take them out, they have the same bloody weakness. Case in point, they're tougher, right? You gotta hit them in the proper spots.
Reload it!
Just like you would these guys. Done. Done in one. You can cripple them and take them out in 2 to 3 shots. Just like so. This gun, you can really do a lot of damage. Always make sure you have a good weapon that is a one-hit quit on these little buggers. You get it? You got it. Good.
Gotta reload.
Now let's move on to the next enemy that's a pain in the arse, the Darter. Now it's going to take a minute, but they also come accompanied by Arachnid Warriors. So, you got your Arachnid Warrior standard flavor, then you got the deluxe flavor, the mutant variant. And if you notice, they have kind of like a brownish yellow coloring with the same identifying marks. And their mouth is a little more hidden, but it's still a weak point. Now if you can hit the eye, you can take them out usually in 1 to 2 shots with pretty much the handheld artillery this revolver. Now, understand that it only has 3 bullets, so be careful. Next target. Now, let's talk about aerial combat units. They come in 2 species. Darters, which are small, numerous, and it can be a pain in the butt, but if you know how to take them out and you're good with your aim, not a problem. And then the big pain in the butt, which is the hopper. Now, we have an opportunity here where I can show you both, and just how big of a pain in the butt they really can be. So, let's get out pure and devastation.
Darters inbound.
Darters. They're pretty much a flying weak point. Now, you'll notice that they're red-ish, and they take a while to target you up. But I will warn you, if you leave them too long, the mutant variant can actually hit you with a sticky shot that not only hurts you and drops you down from 2 hits to 1 hit to die, but makes you a vulnerable target to the warriors that they are no doubt going to have accompanying them. So, let me explain how these buggers work. They like to swarm. They take time to identify you, well, to identify how to attack you, and then they hit you, but they are just one giant weak point. If you have the right weapon, and you can land critical shots all the time, you can take them out. Best solution, have 1 gun in the sky, 2 on the ground, because as you can see, the warriors are going to be the problem you've got to deal with. Now, if you're soloing, it's best to pick weapons you're good with. Me, it's revolvers, boom. And always keep your weapons topped up.
Reloaded.
Case in point. They always come with escort. Well, they are the escort. They're a support unit, not a mainline front, and they're range only. Arachnids, melee only. These dicks, right here. Watch this. Now you'll see that I got him from behind. That's a hopper. That is the tougher variant of the darter and can kill you in 1 shot. But they can drop easily. Notice the size of them, they're easy to identify targets. There's usually 1 per map, if they are present. They're big, they're ugly, they're just a giant mosquito from hell. They are melee. They're the melee variant. They're the melee counterpart to the darter. So darters, weak point. Now, the hoppers really don't have an upgraded version. They're just a standard flavor no matter what. And they're usually just a good source of getting experience from. So let's move on to the tick. Now they are here, and I'll explain real quick what the tick is all about. Now the question is the color difference between the ticks. There's no real elemental attack, so there's no poison you got to worry about. Now the tick is just an explosive on 6 legs. Okay, they have no melee, they're an explosive. They're a walking grenade. And I'll show you what I mean when I get there. So give me a minute, please. Alright, so now we're here, we can talk about ticks. Now let's go in here and I'll show you what they're all about. As you can see, they start, the first thing you ever see is already in an explosive state. Taking them out at a distance is the best policy. If they get close, they go into that state. Case in point, they're fast here, easy to kill. Not much of a threat, boom. the giant glowing section is their weak point. Anything less, and you're not going to win that fight. Now take a look at this guy. He is a giant weak point. Okay, so we got one guy that's that. If you have him in that explosive point, you can take out groups of enemies. Okay? So there really is no poison damage. They're just a giant acid grenade that has an explosive radius. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Now, the yellow ones are a little bit tougher, and they do move a little quicker. The red ones are the mutant variant. Now, they take more bullets to kill, and they move the same as a yellow. They're a little faster than a standard green, but they're also more rare to come by, so I wouldn't worry about them. They're easy once you keep them at a distance, but they usually, again, like the darters, will accompany arachnid warriors. And as you progress through the game, you get all the flavors. Now, I'm going to move ahead to the artillery piece that is the plasmoid. And I'll show you how to take that guy out quickly. One moment. Actually, this is a great opportunity just to show you the chaos that you're going to get into. So, the arachnids will always show up first with darter escort. The more you stand your ground and fight, the sooner the ticks show up.
Time to reload.
Weak point. Weak point. Weak point. Weak point. Not so bad, huh? Trust me, you get good enough with the weapons where you can use two at a time. You can do this with the shotguns too, by the way, or the assault weapons. A little bit more difficult with automatics because you also have the recoil, which can be a pain in the ass. Good night. Good night. Hasta luego, and
Gotta reload.
now that, okay? I can explain why that shot wasn't a killer. See, if you don't hit the weak point, all of a sudden range comes into effect, right? Like anything, bullets have drop velocity, or range effectiveness. For these guns, it's 30 to 60 meters. Alright? Anything in there is guaranteed to be a 1 to 2 hit quit. For mutants, 2 to 3. Yeah, you see that. They shoot a dart at you that hurts. That's the standard issue.
Time to reload.
Lockdown
Okay.
raised. Thank you for your cooperation.
Standard issue always just shoots ranged attack. That really has nothing but effectiveness to injure you, make you very, very weak. Kind of like how I'm making these arachnids feel pretty damn weak. Now we can go over to the plasmoid, which is at the end of this mission, and this one, if I remember correctly, is Iron Horse. If I remember the name correctly, it's the second mission you're going to do. You can see it's pure goddamn chaos, so don't worry about it, you'll be fine. Now there's our unit. There's our enemy. Look at the size of that guy, huh? Now, like I said, not very much of a threat, he's pure range. But that range, if you allow it to get ahead of you, can start to become an issue. Especially when you're dealing with guys like this, constantly in your face. So deal with the grunts, then you can deal with him. Now, if I shoot him here, not much. But if I shoot him there, 300 a shot for me. See what I mean? 155, 310. And see the critical bar? Yeah, you're gonna like this. Look at that, now he's weak. Still weak. Dead.
Excellent kill.
Not much of a threat. Now, he only comes in one flavor.
Inbound for evac, and all Janus 4.
Great.
Air Romeo thanks you for volunteering for today's very special operation.
So, the plasmoid's not much of a threat if you're up close and personal and can watch out for the artillery circle that will light up, and they always shoot in threes. They're like the slowest firing M16 on the planet. That hits like an artillery strike from hell. And will kill you if you're not fast enough. But if you can move quickly, and some perks really do help with this, you can drop them fast without much issue. As long as somebody has hard-hitting weapons, and let's say you're doing this in a team of 3, if somebody has rapid fire, one has a shotgun, and the other one has maybe a semi-automatic rifle or some kind of semi-auto weapon, you can drop that guy quick. The guy with the automatic, if he has any kind of automatic, can build that critical up. The shotgun can drop the damage and DPS in at a close range, and the guy with the semi-auto rifle can kind of provide cover. Okay? Hopefully that helps you out. And now we'll move on to tankers. And they come in 2 flavors. You've got the standard black carapace, and then you have the gold carapace. And I will show you both. So give me a minute. Oh, give me some time. I gotta get to them, and I'll show you how to fight them both. Alright, moving on. I wanted to point out the most key point about Arachnid Warriors that probably should be brought up. If you can catch them from behind, you can take them out with anything. But their whole key tactic is overwhelming force. If you know how to negate this, they're not much of a threat.
Reloaded!
Okay? Now I can move on to the tanker. Just wanted to bring that very important item up. Also, I'm just going to show you this quick fight. You've probably seen it plenty of times, but this kind of illustrates the point. Also, see that beak? If they're in a critical state, they will lunge and try to take you out. And don't be afraid to back up and bring them in a little bit closer, like right there. So that way, you can take them out before they're in sniffing distance. And always take those out, because if you let them live long enough, they will try to kill you. And again, at any difficulty, they're a one-hit quit. They just drop in on you like a Scud missile from hell. So be careful of that, and I'll see you guys in the next part, when we get to the tanker. Now let's talk about bug holes.
Scan the case, grab a launcher,
This is also
keep
important.
it steady and fire when ready.
It is a form of enemy. In any mission you see these things, you take them out as fast as possible. Now the only way you can do this is with one of these. Same with how we're going to fight that tanker. Bug holes are the biggest pain in the ass you're ever going to see. So what you got to do is, you see that little, see this part? You got to line it up with one of these points, which are distance indicators. Find the sweet spot, wait, pull the trigger. It takes a few seconds for it to go. When it does, toss that empty cartridge away, an empty case away, and get ready for a fight. Now, because this is the first form of this mission, the enemies are pretty soft. Don't expect this as it gets harder, because even with these super cannons, it does get a little bit trying, and I've lost troopers because of arrogance and stupidity. Now, I'm going to explain how to track enemies at your side. You see this little red indicator here? That's an enemy. If you see that in your side view, you got one on your 6 or on your 3 or on your 9 or any of the cardinal directions here. So always keep your eyes on those indicators when you're in the middle of a fight. Try to do your best to track those, because that tells you got something coming closer. And it goes from very thin to very thick. That's how close they're getting. The thicker it is, the further up your butt they are. So keep your eyes open on those radar indicators, and you'll never get overwhelmed. Now I'm going to show you how to quickly get through this part quickly, because bug hole 1, bug hole 2. Now, if you're soloing it like me, you want a showstopper. You want something that's a one-hit quit. It's going to drop the enemy fast and furious. Now, you do have to hit this point because this is a boss fight, and the tanker is technically a boss. Sort of. So, this is where keeping your eye on that radar is like T1. Okay? Also, getting used to firing weapons left-handed or right is imperative if you're soloing. Okay? Boom. Now, I like to take my time to quickly line my shots up. And now see how I'm kind of looking away from the box? I'm watching that radar tag. Bang. That's how I always know where they are at all times. That radar is essential to your survival with these guys. And you see how they just come and come and come? Bug hole gone. Consider it nuked. Now, this mission is vital you prep beforehand. Whether it's 1 skull or 5, because it does go after you get to the mission plus.
Every trooper's favorite sight.
Every fight is 5 skull. So always grab out some weapons, grab out some missile launchers, and toss them somewhere where you're going to remember where the hell that group of missile launchers is. I always toss them over there off to the side. Use this hand to open it. Tossed. Give it a pat. Tossed. Now I have a collection of missile launchers to work with. While that guy is going to drop me some more. And grab one in your hand, and I'll show you why. So I'm going to let this guy kind of get set up to a standard fight, because I can kill this guy in a matter of seconds. I'm not going to yet. I need to explain the weaknesses. So the weaknesses are the head. Underneath primarily, that's the weak spots. So, as you can see, we're going to explain his hard points, his weak points. Now, I'm going to show you something. Without hitting this guy with a rocket launcher or any kind of explosive, you do nothing. Same with the gold guy, but you got to hit him with an explosive, and now he's down and out. Now we can just light him up. Now you got to keep your eyes on the swivel again. And boom. Done.
Oh yeah! Take that, you ugly fuck slug!
Hit him here.
Quick, don't jinx it.
Hit him here. Here. And you can also hit him back here for damage. Anywhere else is not really going to do a whole lot to him. It's going to piss him off, but you want to hit him right up between this point, and right about where the gun, right about here with automatics. And if you can get him in the face, like right between these mandibles, you can drop this asshole real quick. As you saw, he's dead. He's done. Plus, they go into a critical state when you hit him with explosives. Now, I'm not going to do the gold tanker, but that one's easy. Okay, let's say you got this big bugger. He's gold, okay? He's gold. And he's stomping around at you. You ain't got no missile launchers. But what you do have at your disposal are mutated ticks. And you get one, they're always going to come puffed up, like you saw when I first introduced them. So you're going to lead them around until they line up. And then it's just boom. Okay? Simple, done. He's now critical. And now you just walk over and start laying the leather on him. Now, if you're wondering how I'm reloading with both hands full, point your weapons down and just hit the reload, and they reload on their own. No fuss, no muss, no BS. It's the quickest way to do it. You can also do it with an automatic. You can just take, let's say you got your automatic, you got your assault rifle or your LMG, just go, and then boom. Or lower it down, and it'll reload with less push. One button, you're good to go. Okay? When you're fighting a tanker or a bug hole, that's your best friend right there. Then you can go back to Camp Triumph and go, hey, I won. I won.
Victory and vengeance. That's the
Boop
perfect
doop
breakfast.
doop doop doo. La 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 la, we won. Now, if you want to see how to kill the mantis, that guy is easy. Okay? And when we get done with this whole audio crap that's about to kick in, I'll explain how to fight the mantis. I'm not going to show you how, because it kind of, if you haven't beaten it yet, right? If you haven't beaten the game yet, it'd be kind of like a spoiler for me unless you want to watch my entire series. You can watch how I beat every single mission. Now, the mantis is easy. This guy is fast. He is lightning fast, and he comes with arachnid warriors, arachnid warrior mutants, standard ticks, and both flavors of darter. Okay, so your eyes need to be on a swivel. Now, best way I can put this. Okay, let's say this is the battlefield, right? This is the battlefield. He jumps up there, he's weak. But all around you, you're going to have a lot of spawners. So you got to move around. You got to keep moving, moving, and moving. And you can chuck stuff like this out and go bang. You know? But he is just a giant weak point. He really is. Though the best weak point is the front. And he always jumps at you front facing. That guy will look at you the entire time. You can take him out. Now, I'm going to end the video here. This has been my tutorial on how to take out arachnids of all flavors and sizes and shapes and wonderful, wonderful attributes. Like I said, the main difference between each arachnid is health. You're always going to have a 2-hit quit. Okay? But knowing how to be able to hit their weak points. And like I said, darters of both flavors, they're just one giant flying weak point. Hoppers, you kind of gotta get them at the ass end. Is probably the best place to shoot. And you gotta make sure you have a very accurate weapon. The next video, I'm gonna cover weapons. So I hope this helped you out. Please let me know in the comment sections if you found this tutorial very useful. And I thank you for joining me again. Lim Hong 464, thank you for asking that question and inspiring this video. I appreciate it, buddy. And have a good day. Have a great week. And have an even better weekend. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then.